Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mars and today we're going to be playing with a Blastoise team. Now, this team was actually created by Bingjie Wang. If you guys don't know who he is, he actually just got top 8 on the Players Cup 2 and also got second place on the Dallas Regionals this year. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to try out this team. We actually really haven't seen Blastoise at all as much. Maybe a little bit more back in Series 5. I do believe he actually did have a team with the same 5 Pokemon like Blastoise, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Indeedee, and Dusclops. But the last one I do believe was Dragalge. But we haven't really seen as much as Dragalge, and I don't really think Dragalge is good at the moment. But it looks like they replaced it with Glastrier, so makes sense. Glastrier has actually been pretty dominant since it's been released, so yeah, definitely pretty excited to try this team out. And I do believe they also got pretty high on the ladder as well for the last season. I think if I'm right with my sources, it looks like they finished on the 13th spot on the ladder. So yeah, so definitely pretty excited to try out this team. Fortunately, we do have one loss. Did get a little unfortunate disconnect, but let's see if we don't get any of those right now. And as well as it is a new year, so happy New Year's to everybody. Hopefully you guys had a pretty good New Year's. I know I did. Oh, I mean, I was just mostly with my wife and family, of course, but not a lot of people, of course, since the whole COVID thing. But yeah, let's see if we can find some people, some players. All right, looks like we already found one. Okay, cool. So, opponent has Incineroar, Ninetales, Alolan version, the Amoonguss, the Glastrier, Urshifu, and a Dusclops. Okay. So, pretty good looking team my opponent has. I think Blastoise looks pretty good here. I do say so myself. So let's go ahead and lead with Blastoise. So does Indeedee as well. Indeedee looks really good. I kind of do want to have Incineroar. I think we kind of need to have something for that Glastrier. And let's see for the last Pokemon. I feel like maybe Rillaboom is still pretty good, even if my opponent has like the Incineroar and the Glastrier. And the Amoonguss as well. There's definitely not a lot of good Pokemon Rillaboom could appreciate, but I still think it could be a pretty good Pokemon to bring in. Or maybe Dusclops. No, I think Rillaboom is still pretty fine here. Let's go ahead and lock it in now. And if you guys do enjoy these type of videos, just kind of like showcasing some really strong players and their teams, feel free to leave a like or comment and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And yeah, let's see when my opponent leads off here. Looks like just Dusclops and Amoonguss, so nothing too scary, in my opinion. The great thing is about this Indeedee is that it actually does carry a safeguard, so oh, it looks like my opponent has pressure Dusclops. Whoops. Okay. I don't really think that's probably like the good set for it, but what do I know? Okay, let's see. So I kind of want to Shell Smash, if I'm being honest. Like I don't really like I already know I can't stop Trick Room, right? And I'm also gonna outspeed these Pokemon, so the best I could do maybe is to just get as much damage out, right? And then let's go ahead and go for a safeguard as well. As Amoonguss just protects, that's perfect. Beautiful, beautiful. As we go for the Shell Smash. Nice. So now this Blastoise is definitely going to be pretty annoying to deal with, I think, for my opponent. And more likely a Trick Room is coming. Yep, a Trick Room is set up by Dusclops. But now I think we could actually just safely go for a Dynamax onto the Dusclops. And as well as Expanding Force. If my opponent likes to go for a Follow Me, that's fine. Or a Rage Powder, I guess, for in this instance. Since it's an Amoonguss. That is completely fine by me. Will do a lot of damage to it. I'm pretty sure Expanding Force plus 2 Cannonade should be enough to KO it. Worst case scenario, if maybe my opponent has like Haze or something on the Dusclops, which they really could. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we'll still be doing a lot of damage to these Pokemon. It looks like my opponent switched out a Moongus for a Glacier. I feel like that was maybe predicting a Max Hailstorm, but I honestly don't think I really need to go for that. So I could just easily just go for Expanding Force, and then anything else could have done. Alright, it looks like they do have Haze, which is not big deal at all. We'll still be doing a lot of damage with Expanding Force, and then plus a little bit of extra chip damage from Cannonade. Yeah, some solid. Looks like it might be a Salt Vest on the last year. Looked like it took that pretty well, in my opinion. Alright, nice, nice, nice. Alright, the Dusclops is in red. Get a little extra chip on that Glacier as well. So I think pretty easy. I think I'm just going to go for the Cannonade as well here. And I mean, I kind of want to double target the... I would like to target the... I kind of want to target the Dusclops here, just to do a little bit more chip. Get a potential KO. Maybe an Expanding Force as well. I mean, the worst thing it could do is maybe just a Pain Split. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I don't think I really need to go for a Follow Me just yet. I was considering about Follow Me, but I don't really think I need to. Now, my opponent did Dynamax the Glacier, which is a pretty good play by them, of course. I think they kind of need to do that. Oh, they went for Metronome. Oh, they went for Lovely. Oh, thank God we have the Safeguard. They got Lovely Kiss out of all the moves. That's what they got. Jesus. Oh my God. All right, well. Okay, I kind of expected them to go for a Pain Split, but I'll take that. I'll definitely take it. Wow, that Safeguard actually came in clutch. Alright, so we are going to attack this Glacier. Not going to take so much damage just because of the boost that they got from Max Quake. Alright, let's see what my opponent leads here. It's going to be the Moongus. Okay. Alright, there's only 2 more turns of Trick Room. I kind of do like to go for a... I'm tempted to just go for a Max Hailstorm here. Max Hailstorm seems pretty good. I could also maybe just double target the last year, but I feel like my opponent might just redirect it anyways, so go ahead and go for this. I would like to maybe switch Indeedee to Incineroar, and I think I might just do that. Yeah, here we are. I could have also maybe just let Indeedee die and then bring in Rillaboom and then switch out and then went for Grassy Glide. I could have done that, but I think this is still pretty safe. Yeah, they do go for Rage Powder. Okay. But yeah, I didn't really want to go for a Cannonade if it's just gonna get redirected. Looks like they are gonna go for Max Quake, maybe into the Indeedee slot, which is fine. I mean, it's intimidated, and we do take that pretty well. And then we'll just get our Berry as well activated. Alright, we are gonna Hailstorm. Let's see how much it does to the Moongus. It still does over 50, which is really good. Alright, nice. Get a little bit extra chip in there with Hail on the Moongus. And then, of course, the Vortex is still doing a decent amount. Oh, wow. Okay, so it looks like it's Black Sludge on the Moongus. All right. Alright, now let's see what I could go for here. I'm pretty sure, I think I could just maybe just go for a blizzard here. I don't think I need to do anything crazy. I think a blizzard is just fine. I could also maybe switch back into Indeedee as well here. I feel like my opponent might just double target the Blastoise, but I'm not sure. There is only actually one more turn of terrain, so let's see what my opponent actually has in the back, depending on what we could use. Okay, it looks like my opponent might have... I feel like my opponent might have his own Incineroar, so... yeah, I think I'm just going to Blizzard. I'm just going to sack Indeedee. I feel like maybe my opponent might have an Incineroar. If not, then they'll probably have maybe an Urshifu. And in that case, I would much rather have my Incineroar than Indeedee. Especially if the Urshifu is actually the single strike. So Indeedee can't really even touch it. So, and as well as this is also the last turn of terrain, so we can just bring in Incineroar back, and we could just pressure them with Fake Out as well. It's gonna get a chilling nade, but it doesn't matter. It's basically just that neutral now. We don't knock out the Amoonguss, but with the Vortex, I'm pretty sure it should be enough. Oh, it just gets knocked out by Hill, anyways. Right, nice, yeah, and that Glacier is like right on red. One little slap with Fake Out, and it should die if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and go into Incineroar now. Don't really want to go into Rillaboom just in case if it was Incineroar in the back. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be the... oh, it's actually the water one. Okay. Not bad, not bad. The good thing is that we actually do have the Rillaboom in the back as well. So I'm pretty happy I actually brought it. Alright, let's see. What could we do here? I think I'm just actually tempted to go for a Water Spout. And just a Fake Out onto the Urshifu. And then next turn, what we could do, we could just go for... we could either just let one of our Pokemon to die, and then we just bring in Rillaboom as well. And just Grassy Glide for the win. Yeah, so pretty good game, I would say so. Myself, the Indeedee was extremely strong, and with Indeedee with the safeguard actually came in really clutch too. It definitely it looks like the team can struggle for like an Amoonguss, so having the safeguard is really nice. And as well, we got super lucky that my opponent actually got a lovely kiss from Metronome, but we were protected with safeguard, so. Safeguard was definitely MVP in this match. Because I think if my opponent would have gotten like Spore, Lovely Kiss, or something to put to sleep like my Blastoise, I think that would have been pretty rough, I would say. Because we didn't follow me that turn. Alright, the good thing is that with the Hail, we actually break the Sash onto the Urshifu, which is really good. Alright, and then, yeah, let's just go ahead and go for a Scald. And I think Flare Blitz does more, so we're just going to go for this. Yeah, basically just our win con is just let one of these two Pokemon die, and then we just bring in Rillaboom, and we just Grassy Glide. Grassy Glide him to death. Oh, they actually have Drain Punch. Interesting. Okay. You normally don't see that on Urshifu. I think it's usually just Surging Strikes, Close Combat, and Aqua Jet just to pick up other little KOs. And then, of course, like the Detect. Oh, it's actually Life Orb, too. Okay. So it wasn't even Focus Sash. Okay. Right, doesn't do too much. We do get the burn, but doesn't really matter. Alright, now let's go ahead and bring in Rillaboom. I think for the most part for the team, I think what you could... I feel like what you could easily bring is potentially just Indeedee, Blastoise lead, and then have Incineroar and Rillaboom in the back. Or as well as if you do want maybe to go for the Trick Room route, I think you could definitely lead Indeedee Dusclops with Glacier, and then another coverage Pokemon to deal with. Maybe Rillaboom could be the last one, or as well as Incineroar, just to intimidate or go up against opposing Glaciers as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and what does more? Does Blizzard do more? Maybe single target, I guess. It really doesn't matter. We just Grassy Glide anyways. Match is canceled. Alright, so yeah. GG's to my opponent. Definitely played very well. I think maybe what they might have misplayed in was switching in Glacier in there. I think maybe they should have just let Amoonguss die, or maybe let Urshifu die. Just so they could just so the Glacier could come in all healthy. Because you know, even the Glacier just switched in, and you know, it ended up taking a hit with Expanding Force, and then it also took some chip from the Vortex from Blastoise G-Max move. So yeah, I think maybe the better play was for my opponent was maybe just to sack Urshifu, and then just cleanly bring in Glacier as well, and then Dynamax, so I didn't take so much damage. Alright, looks like we found our next opponent, Grace. Alright. Oh, interesting. Alright, so my opponent has a Hail team. If I do remember, this is like a Hail team that another Japanese player got pretty high in the ladder in the first Series 7 in that season. Pretty interesting stuff here. Alright, so I don't think I could actually bring Blastoise here. Like, there's so many things that kind of check it. My opponent has the Octosolt. My opponent has the Gastrodon, and my opponent has the Rillaboom, so I really can't bring in Blastoise, unfortunately. So this looks like it's going to be a Dynamax on the Glacier. It does pretty well, you know. It does really good against. It does really good against the Hail team, especially since it'll resist the Ice moves. It could do so much damage to the Heatran. Granted, maybe the Heatran might have Sugar Berry, but the fact that you could do so much damage with Max Quake is really good. And as well, my opponent has the Rillaboom, so that's a free Max Hailstorm right there in that slot. So let's see what we like to do here. I'm tempted to just go Incineroar. I think Incineroar Dusclops is really good as a lead. And I definitely want to bring in Rillaboom, Heatran, and Glacier. Yeah, I don't think we could bring in Indeedee here. I don't think Indeedee would do much, in my opinion. Maybe besides maybe changing my opponent's terrain, their grassy terrain. But in reality, it really doesn't do much. Like, it can maybe Expanding Force a few things, but my opponent has two Pokemon that kind of resist it. Alright, so it looks like my opponent went for Ninetales and Octozolt. We are going to intimidate the Octozolt, which is really nice for us here. Alright, let's see what my opponent has. Looks like it is the Focus Sash and the Life Orb on the Dracozolt. Alright, so I think what I want to do is... Let's see. There's really no way I could stop my opponent from setting up terrain, I believe. Let's see. I could potentially fake out the... I think I just want to maybe Parting Shot here. And maybe just go for a Trick Room. Is that a better play? Actually, let's go ahead and try to fake out the Ninetales and go for Trick Room here. Worst case scenario would be maybe if the Ninetales switches out. It looks like it is going to switch out. So I guess I could have maybe potentially gone for a Parting Shot. Looks like no Dynamax, which is still pretty good for us though. And it's just a Blizzard. Okay, so maybe it's a special. That did so much damage. Oh, it looks like it was a crit on the Dusclops. Okay. Not really a big deal since we do have the Pain Split anyways. All right, let's see who underspeeds. All right, looks like Incineroar does underspeed Heatran, which is really good to know. I think here pretty easy. I just want to Flare Blitz here, and I'm gonna go ahead and Pain Split the Heatran. Yeah, pretty easy. So we know my opponent still has the Ninetales in the back, so I guess this kind of question to see what else they could have in the back. I feel like maybe Cresselia would make sense to have, just so they could have like maybe a switch in for a Max Quake from Glastrier, or as well as Gastrodon also makes sense, mostly just for the fact that they kind of want to have something for Blastoise, in my opinion. I think if they didn't really bring Gastrodon, I feel like Blastoise would have been extremely really good here. Because essentially we could have also like led Indeedee and Blastoise, and just like follow me and gone for a Max Cannonade. So yeah, it looks like my opponent is gonna Dynamax the Heatran. Makes sense because I feel like Heatran is a very good Pokemon here. The Dynamax in this matchup. Let's see what my opponent does. Alright, it looks like no protects, and we are going to get the Pain Split off. Get a little bit of health back on our Dusclops. And Flare Blitz is enough to knock out Arctozote, which is really good. Nice. We do take a lot of recoil damage. It looks like my opponent went for the Steel Spike. Okay, onto the Incineroar. Maybe expecting a Parting Shot or switching into Glastrier, but I normally tend to not do that play because I feel like it's kind of obvious to do, in my opinion. Like if you see an Incineroar and you kind of expect him to go for a Parting Shot, I'd rather just kind of stay in with the Incineroar, you know, and not really get him free damage on Glastrier, since it is going to be our win con. So that was honestly a pretty perfect turn in my opinion. I mean, yeah, the Heatran does get a +1. Oh, well, my opponent looks like they brought Rillaboom. This is actually kind of interesting. Not really the Pokemon I expected, in my opinion. Okay, well, let's see what we could do here. We do have our own Rillaboom. Still. I mean, I think I just want to Flare Blitz here, right? Go for a Flare Blitz. Maybe just a Nightshade on the Heatran to get a little bit more chip. Yeah, because then whatever max move or attack goes into Dusclops, we could just Pain Split it back up anyways. Here, I assume my opponent might just want to go for a Fake Out or something. Which they do, yep. Alright, nice. They do go for another Steel Spike, maybe in the Incineroar. Yep, an Incineroar. Yeah, so I'd rather not switch in Glastrier there or anything, just so we can bring it in all clean. Alright, let's see what we could do here right now. I am really tempted to bring in Glastrier and also Dynamax and go for a Max Quake on the Rillaboom slot. The only reason I say that is because my opponent could definitely switch into Ninetales. But I kind of want to just get that free damage off. I mean, we could also just go for the... Let's see, how many turns? Alright, there's only 2 more turns. Okay. I mean, we could also go for a Max Knuckle, but I feel like going for a Max Quake is not all bad. And also, my opponent might just have... My opponent, we know, they more than likely have the Shuka on the Heatran. And if I just go Shuka or Max Quake, it's not really going to do too much. I'd rather Max Quake on the Heatran when my opponent is out of Dynamax. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and go... yeah, this is probably like a pretty hard read, but I'm going to go for it anyways. And we're all Nightshade here just to get as much damage output as we can. Alright, looks like my opponent is thinking, so maybe are they really gonna... Oh, they didn't switch out, so that's pretty unfortunate. I kind of thought maybe my opponent would switch out. Mostly because I don't really know if they would let us get free damage off on the Rillaboom. Like, I felt like it was pretty safe for them to switch out. Unless my opponent has Protect. Nope, looks like no Protect. Okay. So, unfortunately, we could have Max Hailstorm there, but it's not all bad. Yeah, we don't really do much damage onto the Rillaboom, unfortunately. My opponent goes for maybe alright, looks like Max Flare. Okay. Oh, onto the Dust Clouds though. Oh, is he gonna go for Wood Hammer here? If he does, that would be a pretty good move. Oh, it's just knockoff. Okay. Nice, but we actually survived, which is really good for us here. I kind of want to let my... Let's see. I feel like my opponent might just go for the... let's see what my opponent can do. My opponent could go for Grassy Light onto the Dusclops and a Heat Wave. I can definitely see my opponent doing that. But I want to max Quake now. And go into Rillaboom. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for this play. We could always just sack Dusclops when we need to. Heatran does Protect, which is not bad. Not really bad for us. Oh, Rillaboom actually also carries Protect. Okay. So this is not bad because now we could put some Fake Out pressure on my opponent. Alright, nice. This is gonna get some recovery. Alright, Dimensions does return to normal. Let's go ahead and go for the Max Quake here once again. And let's go for a Fake Out on the Heatran too. Alright, what my opponent could do, they could also switch out Heatran here, right? Like, they can switch out into Ninetales, but it'll take a lot of damage and will break the potential Sash as well on the Ninetales. Alright, looks like no Protects or Switch Outs, so this should be a dead Heatran, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like they just go for a Grassy Glide. That's fine with me. Alright, nice. We do knock out the Heatran, which is nice. Alright, let's see what we could do now. I'm kind of tempted to just go for an Icicle Crash, right? And then switch out into Dusclops. I feel like my opponent will just go for maybe an Aurora Belt or a Blizzard. And yeah, I feel like maybe I can't really double target the Ninetales. I kind of just want to get rid of the Rillaboom as quickly as possible. And at least if we sack Dusclops, we can just bring it in and put some pressure with Fake Out. That's really my what I really want to do here. So let's go ahead and Icicle Crash. Let's see how many turns of terrain we have. Yeah, we only have one more turn of grassy terrain, so this is actually perfect. Yeah, we just switch out. We sack the dust clops, and then we have grassy terrain back up again. And we can put some pressure with fake out on the Ninetales. Assuming maybe the Ninetales doesn't have protect, but I feel like maybe it should. It doesn't. Yeah, it goes for a grassy glide, doesn't do too much. Goes for a blizzard. The good thing is, it's not gonna do so much. It looks like it was a crit. Yeah, okay. But the good thing is that we can get freeze. Worst case scenario is maybe we miss Icicle Crash, but it looks like we didn't, which is really good. Another thing I could have done was maybe go for close combat, but I felt like maybe my opponent would have been able to... well, the only thing I was worried about that is like if my opponent went for an Aurora Bell instead, right? So we probably wouldn't be able to knock it out even if we are at +1. Well, close combat wouldn't be able to do enough through Aurora Bell. All right, nice. So now let's go ahead and go for the close combat and a fake out. Let's see if my opponent actually has protect on their Ninetales or not. Yeah, but it looks like my opponent was kind of taking kind of a long time on the match today. Yeah, so I'm actually pretty surprised my opponent didn't bring Blastoise. I'm surprised my opponent didn't bring Gastrodon, because I feel like if I would have brought Blastoise, like it would have been extremely good against this match. Like, I mean, realistically, yeah, my opponent did have Rillaboom and they had Arctozolt, but if I would have brought maybe like Indeedee, Blastoise, like there's really nothing my opponent, I felt like couldn't really do much. But let's see, my opponent did have the protect on the Ninetales, which is completely fine by me. Again, like it would have to maybe crit us again for it to do enough damage to us, right? So, but we do have the option to just go for a grassy glide and close combat, and it should be the game. So yeah, so that's why so it was pretty good to end up going switching out Rillaboom there. Or switching out Dusclops for Rillaboom, just so we could, put some more pressure with Fake Out. Yeah, that's so much damage. Yeah, close combat is definitely enough. And Blizzard also doesn't KO the Rillaboom, which is good. So even if, for whatever reason, maybe our last year went down, we could have still probably won the 1v1 against Ninetales. So GG to my opponent. They played very well, very well. Yeah, the Heatran is definitely pretty problematic for the team. I think Heatran plus Gastrodon, but my opponent didn't bring Gastrodon, which I mean, maybe it was they probably thought maybe I wasn't gonna bring Blastoise, so that's why they didn't bring it. If that's the case, then well done. But yeah, if we would have brought Blastoise, that would have been extremely like crazy, kind of, because we could just like follow me a bunch of stuff and then do tons of damage with the Max Vortex, right? Or we could also just down for a Shell Smash, or actually maybe not Shell Smash, just because the Arctozolt could possibly still outspeed us anyways. So yeah, let's see. We did pretty well today, so 2 matches just for today. Let's go ahead and show you guys the rental code of this team. I would also probably put the rental on the description as well, but just so you guys could see the move sets and stuff like that. That's basically what I want to show you guys. So let's go ahead and check it. Yep, so this is the team, just so you guys can see it in a bigger picture. Again, if you didn't stick around, right, like I'm still gonna leave the rental code on the description below, but if you guys wanted to see like the whole team, all in one picture, like here it is. So yeah, we do have the Blastoise with Torrent, with Water Spout, Shell Smash, Scald, Blizzard. I feel like Shell Smash is kind of necessary on Blastoise. I feel like it can't really have Protect, because I feel like Blastoise kind of needs that extra like oomph, because in some situations you kind of do need maybe to get the Shell Smash off and do a ton of damage, and then there's some matches where you kind of just don't need to, like you can just go with Blastoise Indeedee and then just click Helping Hand or Follow Me with Indeedee, or just spam with Expanding Force as well if you're going up against like maybe a hard Trick Room kind of team. Yeah, and then of course, we do have the Rillaboom. I do believe in the other one was a choice band Rillaboom. But now we saw Rose Incense, and I feel like this probably is the correct. I think having double fake out is pretty nice because, again, you do have the Shell Smash, so you have at least tons of ways if you do want to get it off. But as you saw in the first match, it wasn't really like necessary. Like we went for Shell Smash, but like my opponent had Haze, but it didn't really matter, kind of thing. I mean, maybe yes, we probably could have gone for a Water Spout and then Dynamax, but we were still pretty fine. But then yeah, you see here the Glacier with the extra belt. I think it's definitely a pretty good choice. Maybe Lumberry could also be pretty good on the team, but the Ndidi does have Safeguard, so I don't really think maybe the Lumberry is not that necessary. So the extra belt kind of does make sense. You can't run Life Orb because the Life Orb the Blastoise has, and I feel like in this team you can't really. I mean, you could run Assault Vest on Glacier, but I think maybe Protect this just a little bit better, just so you could just so you can protect, you can protect the Trick Room and stuff like that. And let's see, we do have the Dusclops. I think is a pretty good standard. You got the Haze in case the Glacier is either got so much Intimidate maybe, from Incineroar. Like if your opponent leaves like an Incineroar against your Glacier and then they're able to go for a parting shot, that's already 2 Intimidate. So having Haze is definitely pretty important. I don't think a weakness policy would be good on this team. I think Haze is kind of important. I mean, maybe it could play around with it could be pretty bad with like Shell Smash, right? But again, sometimes it doesn't really even matter even if you do get a Shell Smash off. Yeah, something it could probably help you benefit if you do have like the Haze and get rid of the stats, because when you Shell Smash you get the minus defense and the special defense, and then you do get the speed of course, but maybe in some situations you could Haze away the speed tax. Like yeah, you'll lose the special attack increase, the 2 stages, but at least you could underspeed some Pokemon underneath. All right, well I kind of talked a little bit at the end there. Yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did enjoy, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And yeah, definitely props to we'll call him by his in-game name, Kokoro. So yeah, this is a really fun team to play. I definitely recommend you guys to try this out, especially starting off like the new season here. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I can start maybe uploading a little bit more. I definitely want to upload more videos on YouTube. But again, it's kind of easier said than done in my opinion. I do stream a lot more though on Twitch if you guys do like to check me out. I stream Monday through Thursday, at least like 4 hours. So if you guys want to check me out, I do start at between 1 p.m. Central or between 1 or 2 p.m. Central. If you guys want to, hang out, chill, watch me, get hacks or give hacks, stuff like that on Twitch. So it's on twitch.tv MarsVGC. I'll leave the link in the description. And again, I'll leave the rental code as well on the description if you guys didn't finish for the video. All right. Take it easy, guys. Peace.